You know, I saw this today, XR Peeps, and it reminded me of how corrupt large parts of our system are, whether it's judicial, educational, even the financial, regulatory. Regulatorily speaking, we all know how corrupt that Gary Gensler guy is, and here this puts a really fine point on it. This is before he was ever SEC chair. Okay, he was working over at MIT. He knew exactly what XRP was and what it did and how it functioned. He knew it was not a security, and I've shown videos in his own words. He said so. But it is so corrupt that and he's not even been punished yet. And I mean, in my view, I view it as an immensely illegal and criminal activity he engaged in by weaponizing his government job using taxpayer dollars against the very people who paid those taxes, against the American people, the very people he's sworn to protect. I view it as an illegal activity, a criminal activity, one for which he should be punished, stripped of any and all monetary gains that he achieved from the activity, any and all salaries. I believe this guy should be put in prison for a very long time. No pension, no retirement, no Social Security, none of that. I think he forfeit those rights. That's how I feel about these kinds of crimes, not just by him, but anybody engaged in those kinds of activities in government, financial services, and other things where they criminalize or they use the American taxpayer dollars against its own people, against its own will. We've seen too much of that. A lot of us have seen a lot of that. Those those Epstein emails that have been dumped. And man, there are so many references to Ripple and Stellar out there. They were definitely the bad guys. Really didn't like Ripple and Stellar, and it's I don't think it's a coincidence that this guy was basically doing their bidding. So let's take a quick read at this. Smoke uncovered this. And here it says, yes, Gary Gensler knew of XRP's potential before pursuing a bad faith federal case against Ripple. This is a rare clip of Gary eloquently explaining the utility of XRP. Listen closely. Now we're going to listen to that video in a little bit, but before we do, I want to point you to another document. This is part of what came out of that Epstein dump, and I'm going to enlarge it, read through some of this up here with you, but I'm going to let you read through this piece down here so you can understand how the bad guys are these guys up here that are talking amongst themselves, thought of Ripple and Stellar. So Patrick O'Reilly over here found, he says, I told you all 31 December of 2022 that Gary Gensler was directed through Epstein and Mossad